Hi, my name is Amanda, and I am using a Radio Shack microphone. Thanks for asking. Come on. Check that out. I'm actually using a DJI mic, but it is magneted onto my Radio Shack microphone. And I'm sure swinging that around is making the audio sound great. Sorry if it's a little echoey. Sorry if the lighting's a little weird. We're actually in our makeshift gym room today. So as you can see behind me, we have this beast of a functional trainer that we got from Costco. And it is in a disassembled state right now because we got the flooring in here redone. Because we have two dogs. Our small dog got diagnosed with Addison's disease about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago now. And if you're not familiar, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into it. But the medicine he was on too high of a dose, and he had a lot of accidents. And we have a Rogue shampooer. We cleaned up the accidents. But carpet has a memory of its own. So we got some LVP put down in here, which is what we have through almost the entire rest of the house now. The only thing that's not LVP is the stairs. So we had the LVP put in here. So there's no rug. So the only thing to stop the noise is like the treadmill. So it's gonna sound a little weird. I'm sorry about that. The lighting is terrible in here. I've got an overhead and a lamp and it's still bad, but we're gonna work with it today. Today I wanted to talk about expectations with fitness and being plus size and wanting to not be plus size anymore. And if that was not enough of a disclaimer, if you're sensitive to weight conversations, if you're you just don't care to hear about that, this is your sign to not be on this video. I've tried to record this, I'm not joking, like maybe 5 or 6 times as I've kind of started the fitness train, stepped off, stepped on, stepped off. And every time it's hard to just articulate what I mean without getting into kind of murky waters. I do want to say everything I talk about here is my own personal beliefs about me as a person. I'm not passing judgment onto other people for how active or inactive they are. This is kind of just my thoughts on it, my own personal journey and expression with it. And I don't want anyone to take away from this they need to do more or less, or it's your relationship to explore with fitness. And this is mine. Also, I'm going to try on some workout clothes. I don't know. This is a weird format. I wanted something that felt a little less intense to talk about this conversation, because in the past I've had it, I say conversation, I talk to a camera, while actively working out. And I think that's fine. And I'm not saying I won't do that again in the future, but I think maybe having a little bit more relaxed of a setting will help with this conversation with me. So I'm going to try on some fitness clothes, but let me give you some overarching information first, and then we'll kind of get into that. I'm 25 years old. My most recent weigh-in was 303. I'm not going to cast judgment on other people, bigger or smaller, and I request the same treatment back. This is just a fact of how much this sack of skin weighs. Now, I will say that I used to be much heavier, at least 40 pounds heavier, and that's what I weighed. The highest weight that I actually stepped on a scale that I remembered was 340s. And that was a few years back. Now I'm lower. I used to be 250, and then COVID happened, and I don't feel how you want to feel about the COVID excuse, but it was rough on me, and clearly that had an effect. I also tried a few different types of birth control in my earlier 20s, and oh my God, Depo is probably it's like such a perfect idea and so terrible in practice. I went through a pretty bad chronic health flare-up with my migraines, and then I was like kind of bedridden for a couple of months. So this is what we're looking at today. And I'm not someone who's necessarily like ashamed of my body. I don't really feel like that. There are times where I'm like, oh, it sounds weird, but it's not because of my body. It's because of how I dress my body, where I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I wore a dress to a wedding I went to last year, and I think it was a little too low cut. And then I look back at the pictures, I'm like, that was not the hottest decision. But the person at the bridal shop said it was fine. And I don't know if I'm being too hard on it. You could feel the anxiety train, right? But I mean, in day-to-day life, I don't really feel like ashamed of my body. There are things that I'm more conscious of just by being plus size. Like something I struggle with so much is if I'm somewhere and I don't have a clear exit. I don't know if any other plus size people feel this way. I'm sure they do to some extent. But if I'm in like kind of a crowded place and someone stands in my like path that I'm going to exit, I'm like, oh, am I going to even fit to get out of here? And then I'll just be thinking about that over and over and over again. So hopefully that's something that goes away with weight loss. But that's not really my primary motivator. My primary motivator for weight loss is actually just like my health in general. My husband and I want to maybe have a family of humans and not creatures. We have creatures in the home, and I'm sure their hair will make a debut on the clothes I try on. But if I want to birth a child, you could certainly get pregnant at my size. The people do it and they're fine. But for me, I'm kind of risk averse. So I'm like, if I do that at this weight, it's higher risk and that makes me nervous. So that's kind of one of the high motivators for me, is just getting myself to a point where I feel comfortable taking steps like that. I don't want it to come across that I'm being pressured to do this anyway. I'm absolutely not. This is just how I feel. And of course, I would like to feel healthier in my body. I know this is not sustainable. I've been plus sized since I was a tween, maybe even younger. So it's not great at any age, but I am 25, and I know the older I get, the more stress the extra weight is putting on my body. And so losing it will help out immensely. So those are kind of my motivators. As far as what I'm doing, it's really just loose calorie tracking. I'm not super strict about it because I think I can tend to get too strict. And I don't want to get into the conversation of eating disorders, because I'm sure there's someone who will make the argument of, oh, anyone plus size clearly has an eating disorder. I don't want to get into that kind of conversation. I don't think I personally struggle with eating disorders based on how I've heard people share their stories and experiences with them. But clearly I overeat. So it's kind of just working on reeling that in. I love pasta, I love cheeses, and it's just kind of reeling those into maybe not having them all the time, being a little bit more conscious of what size bowls I take and things like that. And I loosely calorie track. I have a goal of staying under 2,000 a day, and most days that's pretty easy to hit, if not go under. And of course, I have chronic illness. There are days when I have a migraine and I'm like, I just need to sit in a room. I want like comfort food and I want to relax. I still try not to overdo it on those days, but in general, when I'm not kind of off the rails, not paying attention, it's not terribly difficult at this point. I will say at my size, my maintenance calories are pretty high. So it's like 2,000 a day is a great amount. So where I'm steadily losing weight and I'm not like dropping it so rapidly that I could cause health implications. It will just slowly melt off is the idea. I'm also trying to be more active. Like I said, we've got this big ol' weight machine here. I'm looking at over here, there's a treadmill. So I've got some different options for, oh, I touched the grease thing. I've got some different options for fitness. But actually recently, I tried my first Pilates class. So I'm gonna put on my first outfit and then I will tell you about that experience. Okay, so these two items I have on are the only two items I have tried on out of this mini haul. And I should give you a little bit of context. All of these clothes I ordered from Fabletics. I'm not going to speak to quality or ethics and sustainability. I just take advantage of their VIP offers and then cancel. And I've had leggings from them for many years. So they hold up for me. I would say maybe they lose a little bit of elasticity over the years, but also some of them are a couple sizes up from my actual sizes. So I don't know how much of it's that. So everything I'm going to try on is from Fabletics. And typically for clothes sizing, I will wear, in Fabletics, I can do a 3X is usually a good bottom size for me. It's very comfortable. I can also wear a 2X. And for tops, in normal pant sizing, I'm like a 24, 26-ish. Everyone is familiar with how terrible women's jean sizing is, so take with that what you will. And then in tops, the shirt I was wearing when I started recording, the green one, that's an XL, but it's like a men's boxy, kind of a little bit oversized fit. So if I want a shirt to be tighter, like skin tight, or if it's like oversized and I don't want it to be oversized, I'll get an XL. But if it's like a tighter fit or I want it to be a little bit oversized, I usually go for like a 2X. And like I said, I am slowly working on weight loss, so that will change over time, hopefully. Chest-wise, I'm like a C cup, I think, which transitions perfectly into what the hell is this top? So this is I should also say everything color-wise in here is kind of all over the place. For my typical wardrobe, I tend to lean more towards neutrals, but for workout clothes, I'm anything goes, really. This top is a bright red halter V-neck situation, crossback, however you want to describe it. I ordered it because it had a built-in bra. And I was like, okay, that'd be great if I want to go to a fitness class and I don't want the strap showing. This will be a good option. This shirt is so tight. And I almost never have run into an issue with my chest feeling too big for a top. Typically, people of my size who are plus size tend to have breasts that match. I don't. I'm a pretty solid in the C cup range. So normally I have the opposite problem where I'm not filling out the front of a plus size garment. Not to say this is necessarily designed with plus size in mind. It's just, I don't normally have a problem of the chest being too small, and it feels like on this, it's pretty tight in the built-in bra section. This bottom part just feels it's kind of a ribbed material-ish. It looks like faux ribbing, but it's stretchy. This is fine. This is comfortable. The neckline's a little tight. This is, the built-in bra kind of comes up, down, and then it goes around. And you can see I'm kind of sausaging out of it a little bit. It's not the most comfortable. Now I'm going to set up my phone and I'm gonna insert a video of my skirt while I talk. This is probably a better way to do this, but I don't have another camera set up right now. So this is what we're gonna do. So yeah, this gray skirt is super cute. This angle is maximum flattery, by the way. I think this is such a cute skirt. It's very soft, like a heathered material. So I'm sure this is meant for working out. I kind of bought it to be casual. It's very cute. This is a 3X. It's very stretchy. This is an XL. I'm not sure if I mentioned the top. Yeah, it's just cute. It's a cute little casual skirt. It kind of gives me the vibe that they saw Pop Flex's sweatery skirt of some kind. I kind of feels like they kind of saw that. I don't know. but I think it's cute. And I am going to change it to my next outfit, and then I will talk a little bit about my Pilates experience. Okay, what do we think? This is a very similar style to the red one. This lighting is not doing me any favors. It's just like, I don't know if it looks like that in the film, but in the like viewfinder, my skin looks like it's just glowing white. It's got this like cross back. This does not have a built-in bra. It's very stretchy, it's mesh. I'm not wearing a bra right now, so there's zero support, which is fine for me. Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's like a meshy material. I guess I'm sure it's moisture wicking in some regard. It doesn't feel particularly soft. It's fine. It's not uncomfortable. And then these pants are the like 7/8 length leggings, just normal navy blue leggings. Or a little bit darker than navy blue, like somewhere between navy blue and charcoal. These are a 3X. The top is a 1X. The bottoms are my normal size in fabletics, I guess. I guess I normally get the Oasis. Maybe these aren't the Oasis because they're a little snug, but a wash or two will probably make them fine. And of course, like I said, sizing down, it will all work out in the end. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my Pilates class experience because actually I bought almost all of these clothes with the intention of wearing them to Pilates. I kind of went on this weekend bender where like Friday and Saturday I was like, I'm gonna be a Pilates girl. I'm gonna go to Pilates. I'm gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna get clothes so I have clothes to wear to Pilates. And it didn't work out. Pun not intended, but accepted. Yeah, Pilates is interesting. I took a class at one of the local club Pilates near me, and from everything I'd read online, it seemed like, oh, it's low impact. It looked like fun to do. Everything looked just like fun. And it wasn't for me. And now I do want to preface, like, I don't expect a fitness class to scale down to meet my fitness level. I did join an intro class. This was a level 1. This is the like lowest level they offer. That's not just like an equipment walkthrough. So I was in a beginner class, and I don't expect the instructor to scale class down to meet my needs at all. I just like had gone in with the impression that I was going to be able to keep up no problem. And that just like really wasn't the case for me. Yeah, Pilates is hard. And I knew that. Like, I've seen the videos where these like ultra jacked guys go and trying to do a Pilates exercise and just like shake and can't do it. It was reformer Pilates. So it's like that big machine that kind of like, there's a chair that slides back and forth. And I thought that I was going to be able to keep up. It looked really low impact. It looked fun. It looked like a good leg workout. And the legs are the strongest part of my body. I don't have very much upper body strength. So I was really looking forward to it. I got the little grippy socks, and I ordered all these gym clothes. Now, I will say these clothes aren't going to go to waste. I will still wear them for working out. There's no point in getting rid of them. And like, though some of the styles, like I would prefer something looser on top, especially during the warm months. But I will still wear it. I'm not that picky when it comes to workout clothes. But yeah, I ordered all these clothes and I was so excited. And then I went, and it was hard. It was really, really hard. I was not able to keep up. The instructor came over to me afterwards and was like, yeah, I'm really hard with like abs. I really focus on that. Like my classes aren't the easiest for a beginner. And I was like, well, why did they let me sign up for you then? That's so man, I was like dying. I was dripping sweat. I was not okay. The whole drive home, I felt like I was going to throw up. And I'm like, what is going on? Why can't I do this? And to be frank, it's just I'm not very active. I don't have the endurance built up for something like that. I don't really have many core muscles at all. So when the guy spent, 30 minutes of the hour-long class focused solely on abs, my body was not about it. It was hard. I thought one of my muscles in my thigh was going to like snap. And I've got like pretty strong legs, and it was like the inside of my thigh. I was like, this is gonna snap, and I'm gonna be broken for a long time. That didn't happen. I was sore for many days. But yeah, I got to the end of the class, but the whole time I'm like, am I gonna have to walk out early? I felt so, I don't want to say necessarily that I felt othered by any means, because no one was focused on me. They were all focused on their own workouts. But I felt like, almost like I'd failed myself in a way, where I'm like, I should be able to do this. Why can't I do this? It felt very like, I'm a big proponent for like doing movement that makes you feel strong and makes you feel good, and it made me feel very weak, and it made me feel bad the whole time. Again, that's not the fault of the instructor or the other students or anything like it was totally just me, and it didn't really work for me. And I'm not saying it won't ever work for me. There might be a time a few years from now where I find that actually really exciting and fun, but that wasn't my experience. I went to class a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, the past couple of weeks I've just been like, oh, that wasn't for me, and that's okay. Let me try on another outfit. Now this video is going to be an interesting step off point, 20 pounds down from now, because this, oh my God, is so tight. This is a long sleeve, it's a 1X as well. It's got little thumb holes. Love the color. It actually doesn't fit bad in my torso, but the arms are kind of tight. It's very stretchy, so I could get away with wearing this now. It's pretty warm. I guess it's meant like from winter, but oh my God. The arms are not the most comfortable. I wonder if 10, 15 pounds down, maybe even 20 pounds down from now, if the arms would feel like perfect. They just don't right now. And everything I tried on, I'm going to hold on to and see how that fit difference is. So we'll see. We'll see what difference that makes. But yeah, I went home from Pilates. I felt terrible about, the whole experience. And that was kind of like, I don't want to say I was going through grief for it, because we did lose a cat a couple months ago, and that grief is like true grief. But it was this like disappointment I felt, where I was just like, I thought I was gonna love this and I couldn't do it, and that really disappointed me. So I don't really have the answers as to how to fix that. It sucked. And if you have gone to a fitness class and it didn't work out the way you thought it would, you're not alone in that. I think it's extra hard being plus sized, where there's not a lot of fitness spaces that are super accepting. And I understand that, if you're running a fitness class, you need to make sure everyone is physically able to do the exercises and keep up. And if they're not able to, it could be a risk for them. You could risk slowing the rest of the class down. I understand that kind of hesitation to outwardly say you're plus size inclusive. But I will say, as a plus size person, when I go to look into like a fitness class or something like that, I have to think like, are they size inclusive? Is this going to be something that I go to and I'm like, not necessarily shunned, but people are just like not, like the instructor's not going to have modifications for my size, that like I will be kind of like ostracized in a way. Those are kind of the fears that run through my head when I go to like look at a new fitness class. So it's like extra disappointing when you're plus sized and you see this is going to be good for plus size people, and you go and it's just not right. That sucks. And I wish there was like a better answer for how to deal with that. And I don't know it. For myself, what it's kind of led me to is focusing more on my fitness on a personal terms, like doing it at my house. Like I'm very lucky that we're in a position where we could afford a machine like this. If not, it would be, getting a Planet Fitness membership. We've done that in the past. I'm very lucky that I get to work out in my own house. I can lift some weights. My husband really loves this. I use it sometimes. And then I like walking a lot on like the treadmill. I I like walking on the treadmill on a slower pace for a longer amount of time rather than a fast, short walk. Like that makes me feel good in my body. But, it's sometimes I just wish there was like a fitness class I could go to that was my speed and my ability. And I saw other women like me and we're all just doing movement that like feels good and feels good for us to do in our bodies and not just like Pilates feels like pain. Maybe it feels good the more you do it. I'm sure that's the case, but I was just in pain the whole time. And when I go a long stretch without walking and then I start walking again, obviously I feel sore faster, but it doesn't feel like painful. And the entire hour-long class was like painful for me. So, I don't know, this like disappointment really sucked. And I don't even have like coherent thoughts to share on it. Just like that disappointment sucked. And you get over it, you move on, you focus on other things, of course, but it doesn't change the fact that that kind of sucked for an hour and for the few days after when I was disappointed that I didn't love it. It also kind of had like an extra layer of sucking because I'm on this like weight loss journey where I'm like, oh, a fitness class would really help me in that. Obviously overeating is going to be like the biggest factor for me if I'm going to lose weight or not. But, fitness classes are good for you. And I thought that would be a great fit. And I was really excited. And I was like, any extra little bit of movement I can get in is good for my body. It will feel good. And it just didn't work out for me. So that sucked. And now I've got all these clothes that like half fit. Not that that's a Pilates class fault. I don't know what's with. I feel like it's gonna seem like I didn't order my size. Like I'm not joking. The green shirt was an XL. I just don't. I don't know if maybe I accidentally ordered like compression and I didn't mean to. Everything feels like so tight. I don't know. I hope other people can like understand that those feelings of just like disappointment when you're on a weight loss journey or you're on like a fitness journey and you're starting out and you get so excited about something and then it doesn't work and it's like, didn't work. I don't like it. I don't know. Let's try on another outfit. I am so happy to say that we are ending with a banger. Now, you will notice, based on how I was acting in the little clip of which I can show you the pants, I love this outfit. Okay, the red on red might be a bit much. Bear with me. This was our first complete fail. I tried to put this on, and I could tell by halfway down my arms that this was going to have trouble getting on my chest, and then I was going to have trouble taking it off. And I'm not into that today. So this bad boy will have to wait until I got a little bit less mass. But I love this color. This is so fun. Like I said, in my daily wardrobe, I would not wear this, but it works for workout clothes because you're only really wearing them to work out. So I like to go more funky with the colors there. On to my outfit. There are two different shades of red. The red that I tried on first, that like kind of like faux ribbed situation, matches the pants. It's the same color. This top is from their like holiday, so it's a little bit more cranberry of a red. So they don't match. Clearly you could see it even in this clip. But this is a perfectly comfortable tank top. It's not particularly soft, but it will get the job done for a workout. I think it is crisscrossed in the back here. These pants, I think the people at Athletics are nuts when they come to like designing their pants lengths, because I'm like 5'8", 9-ish, and this is the short length. This is the short like of the like short regular tall. This is short, and it's like just barely the right length. It's a little bit like, honestly, I would prefer it like half an inch up. And now when I'm wearing shoes, I guess it'll be like a good length, but I'd be interested to see how this works on the treadmill. Don't take this advice. I wear Crocs when I use the treadmill in sports mode. I think that will give me just enough height to not trip. But this is like, they're long for the shorts. I did actually make the mistake of ordering the regular length in these. I got them in brown and I had to take them up. I'm not joking, 5 inches. 5 inches. I'm like, and that was high enough where my shoes were sticking out. So I guess that's not the intended look with flares. But no, I had to take them up 5 inches. And that's like insane at my height. If you're shorter than me, you would have to plan to hem these. And because they're a flare, the hem is kind of weird because it goes out. So when you fold it in, it's gonna get extra bulk around the bottom. I don't care. Again, it's workout clothes to me. It doesn't bother me, but if it does bother you, keep that in mind if you're looking at buying these. But I love I believe these are the Oasis. It's just very comfortable, very soft, great for working out. And I love the color. I've recently gotten to wearing bright colors a little bit more. I've got like 3 sweaters and I've got it in black, red, and green. And the red and green are both brighter reds and greens. Not quite as bright as the shirt I threw a minute ago, but like kind of like the same saturation as this red. And the sweater I have is almost like a perfect match. So I like it. I like this outfit. So this will be a good one to yap in a bit more. So I'm gonna change the setup, give you a little bit of a change of scenery here, and then we'll talk a little more. We've got a little bit more intimate of lighting, and you probably can't see the top of my head, and that's okay. And this is kind of how I use the room when it's lit to this degree. This is like what feels most normal. 2 things have happened since I filmed the showing off this outfit. 1, a solicitor came to the door twice and that completely threw me off. And then 2, I just went on a 10-minute rant about my fears about losing weight. And that's not something I'm gonna add here because I don't want this video to be like depressing. This is really like exciting. Like this is a sentiment I 100% stand by. At the start of a big journey, like fitness, weight loss, or even like other journeys, like you're starting a garden or whatever it might be, like starting a new project, like a new craft. There's that excitement where it's like, I can see all the potential in front of me. I just need to execute it. I'm at that point. So it's very exciting. It's just scary to kind of, I think young girls are kind of, I don't know, maybe this was just my family, but we were told like I would hear stories of like girls being kidnapped and having like terrible things happen to them. And in my head, I was like, well, they're not going to take me because I'm a fat girl, so I'll be fine. I think in a lot of ways that's kind of been ingrained in me. And so there's a little bit of fear there where it's like something that I subconsciously see as a safety feature, like a protection, I'm willingly letting go of. That's kind of scary. And I think it's important and I think it's good. It's a little scary, right? But, I don't know how to combat that, but I do know that focusing on the positives and the excitement is 100% going to be a better shot. Yeah, I'm very excited. I've got like my personal milestones and losing weight is the next one that I really see in my future. Like I mentioned, we want to start a family of bipedal creatures in the house. And losing weight is my milestone that I want to hit myself before I get there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. It's exciting. I don't know. I guess I really just wanted to kind of make a video, like just saying like, if you're someone who has experienced like disappointment from a fitness class not working out, or even like disappointed with your performance, like when you're doing exercise on your own, or you're not making as much weight loss progress as you'd like to, like that is not a feeling that only you feel. A lot of people feel that way. It's very normal. you're just not going to see people on social media talking about that. They're not going to talk about how they went to their first Pilates class and they thought their leg was going to rip off and they almost threw up the entire car ride home, and their abs hurt every time they sat up off the couch for the next 4 days. They're not going to talk about that because it's not glamorous. It's too real. It's too like, I'm sure there are people who feel embarrassed by it. I don't necessarily feel embarrassed by it. I'm just like, I feel like I wish it wasn't that way. Obviously, I wanted to really like Pilates class. I wanted that to be like something that I could incorporate into my life, and it just didn't end up that way. You know, people aren't going to talk about that on social media because why would they? Like, they don't want to broadcast that they were like falling behind in a fitness class because a lot of people would be embarrassed by that. I get it. I'm not that. It's just like, you know, it's what it is. It's funny, and in some ways it's funny. Like, remembering the teacher had us do like planks for, I don't know how long it was. It felt like 2 or 3 minutes. I can't really hold the plank, period. And he was going around and asking everybody like these random questions, I think like to distract us from what was going on. And he's going like, what's your favorite topping on tacos? What's your favorite topping on burgers? And he didn't say it like that. I'm not making fun of him, but it was just like, those are the kind of questions he was asking. And it was kind of, on one hand, it was kind of making me laugh because I'm like, it feels like a millennial BuzzFeed quiz, but also I'm fucking dying because I'm doing this plank and I'm like, ah. So yeah, I don't, like, parts of it are funny, but, you know, it does suck. It's like, this is something that I was really excited for, and it didn't work out. Oh, well, you move on, right? I'm excited for what the next few months have in store for me. I, like, always find it easier to do weight loss in the warm weather, and it's not because I'm, like, out and about. It's quite the opposite. It's just, like, the summer foods don't really excite me. That sounds so prissy, I know. I like strawberries, I love apples, I like fruits. I like making like tomato sauce and things like I'm all about that. I mean, we have a vegetable garden. I love using like fresh, locally grown ingredients. But the last 3 months of the year, October to December, is like just has everything delicious. It's got the fall treats, it's got Christmas treats, it's got Thanksgiving treats. It's just like all of the like most delicious foods. It's like you eat these during this time of the year the most. And I've always find weight loss so difficult, so difficult during the holiday season. For me, like, I'm already in like pumpkin nonsense mode by like full-fledged in like September. So that like last 4 months of the year is like so hard for me to lose weight. And now this year I'm going to try and take like a little bit more balanced of approach where I'm like, okay, I can have all the treats, all the good things. How can I incorporate them into like my meals or my like daily, like little bit, rather than being like, I made cookies, I'm going to eat cookies. You know what I mean? Though I will say, it's okay to be a little bit more loose and just like enjoy life a little bit more. Like those things bring me joy. Clearly, I did not get this chunky without loving food. So like, I'm not gonna deny myself happiness during like that time of the year. Like that's, if there's any time where I can make a batch of cookies and not feel bad about eating many of them, it's probably during the holidays, though. You shouldn't feel bad eating cookies any time of year. And I don't, but I'll give myself a little bit more of a hall pass to do that during the holidays. But I've been incorporating that the past few weeks in my, like, working on losing weight little by little, where, oh man, I might make a video going Halloween hunting. There's a YouTuber I watch, Jade the Libra. I'm giving her a little shout out. She is Halloween queen. She's like so on with Halloween. She tracks the stores she goes. She like shows you the decor, what she sees, yada yada. And she's been posting more because this year there's like a Summerween situation. And so she's been posting more, and she just 100% gets me in Halloween mode. And I love my garden. We've spent the past few days building a greenhouse in our backyard. I try to like enjoy the season I'm in, of course, but summer is the hardest one for me to enjoy. I think a lot of people get like seasonal depression with winter. I think I feel it a lot more in the summer, where I'm just like, it's too hot to go outside. There's bugs everywhere. I'm not having a good time. So summer is harder for me in that regard. So I'm like, I'm in Halloween mode. I'm like, just being frank, I'm in Halloween mode. And I don't know, I might make a video like going and looking for Halloween decor and stuff like that. Or finding like pieces to incorporate in our like year-round, like just tchotchkes sitting out. But I'm in Halloween mode, basically is what I'm saying. It's June like 3rd. Also, happy Pride Month. I do have a subtle Pride mani that will become more and more Pride as the month goes on, but I don't really decorate for Pride in my house, but this time of year gets me really excited for this weather, and like it's freaking pumpkin season, it's Halloween season, it's summerween. So all of this to say, I've been making like pumpkin goodies, and I made some pumpkin muffins this morning, and I've been like, that's been like a great way to do baking, which is something I really love, but also eat it in like a reasonable way, where it's like I will have a muffin with my coffee. That is my breakfast. It will keep me sustained until lunch, and I get a little tasty bakery treat to have with my coffee. That's like, I think that's the secret to getting to do baking during the year. I don't go hard on baking like cookies and little treats and stuff until the holidays, because I love them. I want to eat them. But if I do it all year round, I'm gonna be like, I'm never gonna make any weight loss progress. So I push a lot of the like cookie baking and stuff to the end of the year and like get it out of my system. And then the rest of the year, like, I don't know, muffins are like a really great way to get to do baking and enjoy tasty things. I also made strawberry lemon ones, and those came out really good. I'm in my muffin era. The shirt I was wearing at the start of this is from Life is Good, and they had one on their website that's like, in my beer and tacos era, and we can't stop like quoting it. I don't know. I'm in my muffin era. No. I hope that if I make another fitness-y video talking about that kind of stuff, you can kind of see my progress. I'm not going to make it like the forefront of my videos by any means, but it's something that I might talk about from time to time and something you might notice, hopefully. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope if you're doing fitness and wellness, if you're on a weight loss journey or you're on a weight gain journey, I know there are plenty of people who are on the opposite end of the spectrum and need to gain and not lose. I hope you're having success with that. Obviously, nothing was sponsored in this video. And don't feel bad if you go to a fitness class and it's not for you. It happens. You'll find something, even if that something is just going on walks around your neighborhood. I will say one of the benefits was Pilates was expensive as hell, so I'm kind of glad I didn't like it so I can save the money. It's like a car payment a month. It's insane. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and see you next time. Do we like the microphone on microphone? I like noticed while I'm recording, I just keep spinning it. But this is the Radio Shack microphone I got from an estate sale for $5. And I'm sure it sounds interesting plugged in directly, but I think this is kind of fun. This might be stupid, but it's fun for me, okay? I like it. Bye.